Hey there everyone, it's GleeCon and I'm here again, bringing you another episode of Lore of Warcraft. Thank you for tuning in. On the last episode we continued reading Warcraft Durotan chapter 23 as we get closer and closer to a climax in that book. And the Frostwolf clan is trying to get to the seat of the elements. We have been also wrapping up Ungoro Crater by messing about with the Horde only quest. We did a full clear of the zone on Alliance, and we just have a few things that are Horde specific that we're tying up, so stay a while. This as we take Leek and Solar Tauren Shaman, bring her back into the crater. She, we don't have like a ton to do, but what we have left to do is kind of time consuming. I said I was going to do some off-camera seed cultivating, but I didn't, because we only had enough to do 3, and I felt like I knew I would want to kick the episode off with 1, so I could have done the other 2, but then we would have, I don't know, I just felt like the juice wasn't worth the squeeze. I don't like that. Okay, so while we are here, we've killed all the blood petals. We still need 16 marrow grain. We need a ton of slime samples, most likely 40 to 50 more. And we need 4 more Ravisaur. So meanwhile, we're just looking for all the dirt we can find. In total, we need 70 dirt with what we have right now, so we only have 4. So we need 66 more dirt. So we're gonna go kill some dinos, look for dirt, and meanwhile kill every slime that we see. There's some dirt over there. Here's the Ravisaur. Okay, so that's what we're working on today. We are going to, when we turn this Larion and Muigin in, we're going to have to also travel to Swamp of Sorrows at some point. So really today it's mostly going to be slime killing and whatever it's called, the marrow grain seed cultivation, and that's it, really. That's all we're going to do. And then the next episode will be wrapping up Larion and Muigin. That's probably all we could do, and then going and turning in the seeds, hopefully. I will wrap some up off camera as needed today. We're going to try to get we'll try to get as much as we can. Throw out this bruise weed. We're sitting low on inventory spot right now. Okay. And yeah, that's it. This is kind of why I'm also leaning towards not doing things twice. As we get to the end of the game, there are a few interesting little quest lines that we'll cover, but the need to run, like, the idea that I needed to run and do all of the crystal collection again, like, what are we gaining out of that, you know? Other than pat ourselves on the back and say we did everything on both characters, we still covered everything in the game. This doesn't count. So it's really even just the smallest backpats, and just justifying it. Neat. We found a whetted claymore. I'll go ahead and just eat it. A whetted claymore. Right. Yeah. That is about where we're at. Now, I haven't heard back from anyone, so I'm guessing it's not super important to the viewership about which character I move forward with into the late game when I start raiding. If I have to raid on both, I have to raid like on Alliance and Horde. I will have to, if that's the case, then we'll need one of each. And again, I don't know what that will entail. There's certain things like we will not have to do on both. We will not have to do the Bloodsail Buccaneers on both. So that will be one of our humans for the sake of rep drag. 10% bonus. That's going to be where a lot of that endgame stuff is. So then between that and between my mage and Gleek and Tessa, probably I'm leaning towards going the mage, but I mean, if you guys feel very attached to Gleek and Tessa after our journeys, I'm not opposed to riding it out with her. I just might have to switch her over to a healing spec with the later oh, you know, this whole time we've been getting 100% drop rate on these bones. And then I came back in, it's like I jinxed it. We are straight out. We've killed 2 or 3 of you guys, haven't had a single bone. So, that was just weird RNG before we played 2 days ago. Now, what is up with that? That's kind of odd. Curious. Okay, we are at 7. Really, I need the stupid... We need these Ravasaur claws, but I really need slimes. Whatever, they'll appear. This is a Ravasaur runner. This is a 3rd type thing. There, that's a straight Ravasaur. So now we're walking over to a different kind. Maybe these are better, or maybe I have worked my way out of the ones that are good. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe I moved too far south. I don't like. Well, we got a bunch. There's some Ungoro soil as well. But so far so good about my determination. I mean, it's still very early in this program, but my determination to stay with this heavier report session. Oh, everything goes nicely. Tomorrow we should be able to finish. The zone. Only thing that might stop us is the marrow grain, and we could also look into buying some online. We like that we're getting the soil as needed. Don't like that for some reason we're getting no. Sorry, I'm gonna step my totes down here, my totes and goats, because I see a few that we can pull, so we can set up a base and fight. This guy's gonna act aggro on it. See? Think about how big a Tauren is, and then look how big this thing is. That's actually kind of crazy. Okay, very big. Oh, it's coming closer. Did eventually double Ravasaur action. Just couldn't help itself. Had to jump and pierce on it. I mean, it's pretty cool. The Ungoro Crater is a cool zone. It's a cool zone. I give it high marks. Finally, we got our 5th claw. It's like 10 kills. Weird. Very weird. Yeah, as opposed to Blasted Lands, which you'll see. I actually don't mind the aesthetic and the ideas behind Blasted Lands. I despise the execution. The zone ends up being a really cool long quest line. Typical, like, part of what makes Classic great, but ends with ridiculously high jump. 2 incredibly low drop rate things that automatically shoot a zone in the foot for me, because it makes it where completionism is extremely painful. There are a few other things that do that throughout the game. Most notably, the thing that stopped my full achievement hunt, which was I had done all achievements, not counting PvP, because I was saving that, and I was also saving some of the longer left run one, but I had done every quest achievement in the game, all the way up through Dragonflight, and every exploration achievement up through BFA, and I was on the BFA Najatar, which requires you to get... I've talked about this before, so sorry for beating a dead horse, but that's how much it scarred me. Required you to get a... Not only... There was an achievement to kill all of the elites in Najatar. Fine. That's not too bad. But then, the achievement... Each elite has like a rare drop that is maybe a 10% chance drop, maybe less. And you needed to get every rare drop from every elite. From every rare elite. So some of these elites might take you days or weeks of camping to even get one. Then top on the fact that you were going to need to do it for you know, possibly 10, 20, 100 times for one. And it's just that's just a bit too much. That's just crazy. There are some things where I can't believe I did it. And some of them, like when we do the crazy swashbuckler one for Insane in the Membrane, that's just tedious. That's just tedious grinding. So, yes, it's annoying, yes, it's dumb, but it is not like, yes, it's insane to do, but it is just a grind, you know, it's not like, it's a finite thing. You can calculate exactly how long it's pretty much going to take you. Healer or two. Golem. I don't think I'm strong enough to do a Scarlamance run. I don't know how that works. Oh, our little bag is ready. We need to pay better attention to that because that's the whole point. But even with this, we only have enough to do it 5 times. Hated it. Why do they want to give me Grom's blood so much? Yeah, so anyway, the hope is, if not, like, maybe we'll have some kind of weird wrap-up episode on Friday. And that's fine. It is. I hope to not do that. Alright, we need one more Rabasaur. Give us the goods, and then we can be done killing Rabasaurs. At least we're getting some leather out of them, too. I'll put this here just in case. Then we really need to hunt slimes, which I guess are everywhere else. I think that you find a lot of them around the volcano. Lightning burst of my powers there. Nailed it. Alright, so we're done with these guys. Now we need slimes and soil. That's the story of our life. Our life. Whoa. And I probably won't, like, quit collecting. There's the news over there. There you go. I will not quit collecting slimes until, like I said, till we have about 50. I might. We'll see where we're at. We can board and go earlier than that. But that's now that we've done dinos. That's literally all we're gonna do is look for slimes to kill, and if we see some soil, awesome. Probably some of this stuff will drop. Now I can drop Ghost Mushroom now that I'm not killing plants anymore. Heart of the Wild on the fence I'll drop. I will probably have to. Yeah, we do not want to let them clone because it basically gives you a second fight that does not drop the slime sample. Okay, there's some Mithril. There's some Pterodaxes. And there's a slime over there. Cool. We're at 9. Oh, there's a Dimetrodon we can skin. Right, there's another slime. Okay, good. I can only imagine, like, if you notice we're surrounded on all sides by dinosaurs, you just have to not GAF. That's fine. That's one thing that this game, like, I guess you have to be cool with. Like, you have to get to a point playing this game where you're like, oh no, the freaking clone got off. He started it a little too early in the fight. Now we have to fight this stupid clone. And they're not even like, I don't know, I'll look to see if they're easier. Their stats. Like 160 times 20. About 3,000 life total. Which is what the Primal Ooze has. Yeah, so they're not easier. I guess they just don't clone. They do drop loot, but they don't drop samples. Alright, so we need a total of, we have, we're 34, so 68, we have 3, so we still need 55 more soil. Come on. Couldn't get it off again. That's cool. Devil Sword Legged. But we are not tribal leather working. Guess I'll drop those. I feel like he's not hitting me very hard, and after this we're just gonna have to. Yeah, they keep dropping these extra things. We don't. Alright, Heart of the Wild's gone. I'll drink a moonberry juice. It's actually better. I should drink the enchanted water, but now I only have one, so. Let's eat. I mean, I do have these wind blossom berries. I guess I'll eat those. Other than that, I don't really. What if you could suicide yourself with a demonic rune? I don't see. Probably. Yeah, see, this is, I'm part of this guild called the Syndicate on this account, and I've never, like, raided or done anything with them. And I don't know that I will. I'm not really interested in religiously raiding like that, but I might have to if that's what it's going to take to get my foot in the door for a Nax, ultimately, which is annoying. I'm annoyed now. I don't like that. I don't like quests being tied behind, like, gated progression from gear that you're competing with others from. Like, at least when you do PvP or anything like that, like, you can get that gear. It might take you a million years, but you can ultimately get it on your own. If you're waiting for some highly contested best in slot type of thing, and there's 25 GDKP loot boss alts that, you know, competing with you, bad chance. I just don't like that. I don't like the idea of playing a lottery or having to go either dip into my real pocketbook or dive into, like, heavy gold grinding. That's an intangible thing, an ever-moving target. It's not like you're going to a vendor. I would grind gold if the vendor had a set price and I could buy it from that, but that's not what's happening. You're buying gold to go to an auction and compete with others and hopefully get something. Now, I know that's not how it always has to be, but it's just not my style. I don't want to compete like that. I'm not a humongous PvP style person fan. It can be fun. I'm not saying it can't. I had some great rushes back in the day. I used to really love playing Warsong Gulch on my rogue and doing, you know, I got all the achievements on that and did, you know, a lot of those capture the flag. I've been the one to capture the flag 3 times. I had some really fun back in the day in Burning Crusade early, Wrath of Lich King days. You know, it can be a very big rush. I still have a lot of good memories of that. I have a lot of good memories from that time period. However, it was extremely time-consuming. I also have memories of just waiting in queue in off-peak hours, ready to jump at the drop of a hat, the sound of a match starting. And I don't miss that. Alright, so now we're back to the glutinous ooze, and I just like the drip of power progression that makes me feel like I'm ultimately can take on the world. I like the idea of doing all the content. I like the dungeons and stuff like that. I'm a little more amenable to that because those, even when you're competing at the highest mythic level, and sometimes people can be fussy and they can make it into this competitive thing, ultimately you are competing with, you are all supposed to be on the same team. That's the goal. And if one person wins, we all win kind of thing. Again, some people are really selfish. That's the world we live in. Some people just want to protect theirs and their way of life and their opinion, and they don't care, you know, the rest of the world be darned. You know, the rest of the way that other people's lifestyle choices or religious beliefs or languages or customs or yada yada yada. As everybody knows, you know, right now it's just like a massive social, and the zeitgeist is just tons of cringy online people using what's going on in the, either, you know, using what's going on right now for clicks one way or another. Either, I haven't seen a lot of the rage baiting, but I'm sure it's happening. I've heard tales of it. I've seen some little clips, like little TikToks and stuff on both sides, that people have shown me. I don't even have TikTok. Probably not a great fact about me, considering I'm a YouTuber who tries to get my subscriber up, and it's like, yeah, but I don't like have any social media accounts or anything like that. No. Don't get it twisted now. I want to create this YouTube account and get the subscribers up and have and spread the gospel of this game and the way that I play it in this crazy OCD completionist manner, but also with like no other interaction with the world, just no social media. But you know, you also see people like putting their comments out there. I saw a song, and it was a good song. A song that somebody did a reaction to it. It was sort of a non-partisan style song, and it was just about. And it was from an artist that I like, a young guy, and I understand the need to react. Like, I didn't blame this young kid. I didn't think he was doing it with a complete naked click grab kind of personality, but ultimately that's what's happening. So you're profiteering off it. People are profiting. So again, you know, I don't think it's wrong if you have a voice, if you have a platform, to use that platform to spread a message or to express yourself. I sympathize with that, but it's also like, hey, and if in the process I make a few bucks. So they're, you know, that's just the capitalistic world we live in. So again, I don't blame it, but you can't divorce yourself from that. You have to go into open eyes. You have to realize, you know, you have to be honest about your motivations. And if you really, really, really feel one way or another, and it just so, you know, like, hey, I'm all about, like, if I put a song out there or whatever, let's say I was a beautiful singer, and not just like karaoke at the bar singer, and this was my platform to reach the audience that I had, and I made this song expressing the way I wish the world would behave right now, and I felt that that message was important. And I decided to use this toolbox. While I think that that's kind of inappropriate based on the way I've set up this show, this guy's not like that. He's just a singer. It would be kind of dumb to then also like turn off ads for this one video, you know, like just to make a statement. That's kind of also self-aggrandizing. Like, okay, you're so good. You turn off. Like, you can't win. You're darned if you do. You're darned if you do. So again, I don't fault this kid. Well, I just got that out of there just in time. What else are we going to toss? Thank goodness we got marrow grain, so I didn't have to worry about creating a sitch there. That raptor stuff actually sells for a decent amount of money. We need to kill slime, so I don't want to bust this. 50. No. We are up to 16 slime samples. So getting there. More likely than not, we have 3 or so, but in a bad luck world, we're only going to have 1 or 2, so I'm preparing us for a bad luck world. I can at least ditch the raptor for How about that? Okay. But anyway, so, you know, we're all exposed to that. It is really crazy, you know. I didn't even know who this I didn't even know who Charlie Kirk was, honestly. And I'm pretty, like, plugged in. I'm a daily consumer of news. I listen to current events podcasts. I'm pretty plugged in, and I'd never heard of this dude. So I guess that goes to show you that I'm not super plugged in, super far right. I guess I could probably stand to like plug in and learn a little bit more about that, but again, I had never heard of this guy. So when I heard about it originally, my initial reaction was just like, oh man, like, you know, another one, like, we get 2 or 3 a week where a school or a prominent person's shot up, so we are absolutely desensitized to it now, for regardless of if you want to say it's inevitable or whether you want to blame one side or another. That's really this is not the venue for all of that, but certainly there's a desensitization. And then when everything came out about, you know, were really just people started reacting so viscerally to it, then and then I started just seeing it everywhere, and I was like, oh, this is. And then, you know, it was going for a few days, and then I start hearing about, you know, then I'm hearing about it on news shows, I'm hearing about it on podcasts, I'm hearing about it, like, everyone's talking about it. And then, well, really, honestly, what made it even more real was, it's like I said before, I work for the government. When the freaking governor's office sends a memo to my job site saying anybody that says anything negative about the situation will be fired, lose their license, and potentially go to jail. Like lose their whatever. Like they will not be employable. So when that happened, then I was like, oh, I've literally never seen anything like that before. And then that just begs the question, what makes this person... We've had a ton of people die in let's just say the past decade. Tons of prominent people die, be killed, and then that made me think, like, what is this person's claim to, like, you know? So then I just had to look and find out what the whole big deal is. But even right now, even as I'm saying this, I'm like, that's about all I can really say is neutral comments, because like I just said, the wrong person listens to me, and that's it. There goes my career. So, that'll be all I say about that. Or like and subscribe and tell your friends, and this can be my career. Wouldn't that be cool? Or I could, you know, maybe win a lottery ticket, or invent tape that doesn't peel paint off walls. I don't know. Yeah, it's called painter's tape. Crap! So yeah, the world has been a reel with content and news lately, and just don't know what to do, guys. But the world of Warcraft also, that's another thing. Like, you know, you go, it's like art imitates life, and it just, maybe it's always been this way, but it really does seem like there's just vision within the WoW community. You know, you have the GDKP versus non-GDKP. Some of the division is nice and part of RP. Like, I'm okay with people that mostly play Horde hating people that mostly play Alliance, and vice versa. It kind of fits with the RP. I've always been a dirty little player of both factions. I don't love one more than the other. My first ever characters in this game were Alliance, and I thought it was cool. My first ever characters that I maxed out, took to max level, were Horde, and I loved it. I spent years playing Horde only, and then when I got back in after a few year hiatus and I started on my Mega Completionist account, I went Alliance, and spent a lot of time playing Alliance only, but then sometime in that journey, I made ults, and I always split my ult team. So I always went. If I did a Horde last time, I would do an Alliance this time. Yeah, so I feel like we're getting kind of away from where the real says there's slime stuff. Where's it? Where's the slime? We gotta find more slime. So anyway, I hope it all, you know, I hope everything works out. I hope peace. Well, yeah, I truly do. I'm a man that would like peace. Peace among one another. To just have a world where nobody wanted to hurt anybody else. Whether that's emotionally or verbally, just or you know, everybody did their best to respect one another. Try to see where everybody else was coming from. I don't always do that. I don't always do it in my own home, you know. My wife might be like, I want you to do such and such, or, you know. Oh, I mean, my wife and I had a, like, just a typical marital argument with my wife this past weekend. And the gist of the argument was that I was doing something on my phone. I was kind of sucked into it, playing a game, doing a Duolingo, and I guess I'm getting rid of those. And in that process, I was not. Oh, now we have multiple stacks of those too. I was not paying attention to, like, my surroundings, really. I was just kind of in my own world, selfishly. And I was, like, I like, a glitch was happening on this Duolingo that I've never seen before, and it would, like, not let me... I was, like, trapped in the app. I couldn't submit it. It just kept telling me what I was doing was wrong over and over again. I couldn't mark it wrong. I couldn't get out of it. It wouldn't let me select the right answer. Like, it was a major glitch in the game, in the thing. And the easiest fix would have been to restart it, but it was the last question in the assignment. So I was like, I just didn't want to start over. So anyway, while I'm pressing buttons and trying to get it fixed, I was, like, grumbling to myself, but, like, at full voice level. Again, not really being aware of my surroundings, and I guess I kept saying, like, asking, like, what is going on? Like, why is it doing this? Why is it doing this? Why is it doing this? But at a full normal volume. Meanwhile, my wife this was all in the living room. My wife was doing some work on her computer, and it was distracting to her, and probably was bothering and annoying. She's trying to concentrate and write something or type or whatever, and meanwhile I'm in the background just going, why is it doing this? Why is it doing this? And so she felt that I was doing it in, like, this performative manner, that I was kind of making a big scene, trying to suck everybody else in, is how she took it. But in her, admittedly, she was also annoyed that I was being loud and kind of pointlessly loud about something while she was working. And I was... Really, all that was happening is I just wasn't even thinking about the fact that I was talking out loud. I was frustrated at the situation. I wasn't thinking about anything else. I was laying on the couch and hitting the button over and over again. I didn't even think. The whole thing, this whole interaction took place, or this whole event took place in, like, less than the time span of a minute. So it's not like I was also doing this for hours. It was like I literally probably said it 4 times. So she ended up snapping at me like in an unfair, rude way. Like, is there a reason why you're doing all of this? Do you have to be so loud, kind of thing? So I was like, well, okay, and I'm just. It kind of took me by surprise because again, I was in my own world, in my own head. So, you know, I did like one sometimes does, and I got all huffy, and I was like, well, fine, I'm gonna go do this in the other room. And I just went into the bedroom to finish my lesson on Duolingo. Like, that's it. So I was back there for maybe 5 or 10 minutes, and the next thing on the to-do list, this was all happening right before we started cooking. We had planned we were going to cook some dinner together. My son had a friend over. So I came out, and I was going to boil some noodles to start making the stuff needed to make a noodle salad. So I was going to boil the noodles so they could start cooling off. And I went to get the big pot out of the pantry, or cupboard, and I opened the cupboard door, and then I turned around and I saw that it was already out on the drying rack, and so I turned around and closed the door at the same time. I guess it closed loudly. I don't know. I was again not really thinking about it. I just turned around. I was, you know, sometimes when you're cooking in the kitchen, there's some pots and pans banging around, but it wasn't, again, it was not performative or anything. It literally had nothing. I was already like over the other situation. I was just moving on to going to start cooking dinner. And my wife was like, oh, is this what we're going to do now? Now we're going to come around and start slamming things around and being all pissy? And then, since that was now twice in a row where, I don't know what you would call it, the worst was assumed of me, I was treated as though I was doing something I wasn't. I don't know how you would describe this whole situation. I was like, whoa. I wasn't even doing anything. There was no me being pissy or anything like that. So that annoyed me. And then all bets were off, and it became a knockdown, drag out, yelling at each other fight, as one often does. And I was I was talking to my coworker, and this is a lady that like my assistant in the office, and she works with me a lot. And she's a little older than me, and she's been married a long time. And she was talking about some kind of little bickering that she had with her husband. But she said a line to me that was really, I liked it. And she said, you know, it's not the boulders that knock us down or that we trip over, it's the pebbles or something like that. Something to that effect. And that was a moment of this where this little pebble of a moment just caused this really mean, a lot of mean words to be said. So, in that moment, the point of that whole very, very detailed domestic was that at that moment in time, I was not thinking about my wife's point of view. So, do I wish that we would all take time to look at one another's points of view? Yes. It's the world that we live in. But if we can't do it at home, and I'm sure I'm not the only person that has had a moment where somebody says or does something that you love, that you consider to be unfair or wrong or unjust, or you misinterpret them or whatever, and then you don't really care about their side at that moment in time. You are just annoyed with how they treated you, or what they said or done. And I think that's probably society in a nutshell. A lot of us are probably not really caring about the other side of the aisle's side. We just care about the things we see that they're doing wrong. Like if you don't like a liberal or a leftist side of view, a pro-abortion side, because you cannot get behind, you see abortions as murder, then it doesn't really matter about the other person's side because the action is indefensible to you. And you're going to shut that down no matter what. Or conversely, if you see someone like Trump or whatever, or Vance or anybody as like a morally reprehensible person whose actions are indefensible, then it doesn't really matter, if, you know, to a lot of people what a supporter of Trump's side might be, right? Because regardless of the justification, they are supporting someone who you consider morally bankrupt or whatever. So I think we have a lot of that going on, and it's painful and distasteful as it is, because it's painful and distasteful. So if somebody says something rude and unfair to me, I will. It is not going to be my knee-jerk reaction to be like, okay, why did you say that? Please explain to me why. I'm gonna be like, most people are gonna be like, you're out of line, man. Or you're wrong, or who are you to talk, or whatever. And even if you're doing that with someone that you love, so I think that's especially true with strangers, especially true when you look at masses instead of dealing with individuals. But we really need to, and all of us probably have different, we have different tolerance levels or different thresholds, you know, like someone that supports like a, like a Donald Trump, you might be willing to tolerate his, like, crude language if that's not your thing, or his, like, admitted, you know, open, non-debatable, like, sexual misconduct or whatever you want to call them, in the past. The things that he's, even if it's just his words. You might be willing to, or like the way he insults people and doesn't pull punches in a way that most politicians don't. So you might be willing to, even if that's not necessarily how you would act, you might be willing to tolerate that because you agree with the overall message and motive behind what's going on. Similarly, like someone on the left might be able to tolerate the fact that someone broke the law and entered the country through an illegal immigration, which is not fair and strains the system and really flies in the face of people that go through that process fairly and by completing the right steps. You might be willing to forgive that because you more sympathize with the overall like lack of feeling of futility that might drive a family to illegally immigrate anyway, possibly. So it's just whatever. There are things that I guess the point of all of this really dangerous talk I have is that there are things that we are all more willing to tolerate from and that allows us to lean in one direction more or another. And there are things that we have a very hard time tolerating because we are just so foundationally set on the idea that opinion is wrong or the actions are bad. And we have to be able to get to a point where it doesn't matter anymore, you know? Otherwise, all we're going to have is like some sort of retaliatory governmental system where like half of the country has taxation without representation, at a federal level at least, and like a nation of winners and losers. I don't like that. I just behind that. I don't feel like half of us should have to lose. I don't know, that could just be me. So, you know, people that hate MAGA, like, gotta find a way to find out what the true crux of the matter is. What are the true things that that are actually political platform things and not just like homerism for a team that that many MAGA people believe. And why should that be, you know, something that is listened to? You know, whether that is, you know, pro-life movement, or whether that is anti-trans stuff, or whatever. Like, that might be painful too. It might be very painful for people on the left to have to entertain restrictions on abortion, or entertain, you know, and by entertain I just mean listen to and try to see a common ground with people that are completely against, like, whatever, homosexuality or something like that. And similarly on the left, like, I mean on the right, like, gotta find, like, gotta be a why, like, why? What are these things? You know, what is it about guns that could be, you know, compromised on? What is it about more open borders? What is it about more socialist policies in our healthcare system that could be compromised on? You know, like, there are things I think that could be. What's this? Is that an offhand? Oh, it's a main hand. 20 healing. Yes. That's going to replace my dagger I have for my healing set. So now I have a total of 24, 33, 55, 63, 83. That's a good helmet right there. 129. I have plus 129 to healing. That's pretty good. That's pretty good if I wanted to go full healing set. And we are also at like 10 seconds. Alright, so that's... and I'm going through puberty. I'm not like anything, whatever. You know, I'm just a dude. And of course I have my own opinions. I'm not here to like promote those. I just I do sense that the temperature in the world is really hot right now, and like socially, not outside your house, but it might be kind of out where I am, and I just I just was, oh, get along. Why can't we? Can't we all just get along? There's got to be a common ground. I hope. I mean, I might be naive. I don't freaking know. Can't we all just get along? Can't we just play some Warcraft? Can't we all just play our video games? Hold hands. Not hold hands, but you know. Go break bread together. Alright, so we are at 56 soil, and I have 31, so I need 62, so we only need 6 more soil. We also are at 31. Slimes. Just cruising. Cruising on those slimes there. We are, yeah. So I guess that's we're just again. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna spend like 30ish more minutes just finding slimes. That's what we're gonna do, because the 6 Ungoro soil, that means we're coming to an end on that one. That'll get done soon. Then it is a matter of just getting the actual marrow grain. Like I said, we only have 7. But with all of this, I can get on here and crank it. Even when I'm watching shows tonight, I can crank it out tomorrow before I do the record, which will be hopefully wrapping up the zone. We can do it during tomorrow's episode. We can get about 10 or so chances. I promise I won't talk political anymore. It's just everywhere right now. So sorry that it bled out a little bit. I know it's not what we come for on this. I figure a lot of people talk, you know, feel similarly somewhere in their hearts to me. There's another slime. So, if we finish this tomorrow, then that means Friday we're going to start Blasted Lands, which I hate. So Blasted Lands is going to require us to do 10 quests of hunting out these things. And that, on average, took me 45 minutes per last time. It'll take us a little less. Let's just say 30 per. I'm thinking it's going to take a solid 5. It's going to probably take a solid 2 to 3 episodes. Probably 3 episodes. A solid 3 episodes. Just to get those buffs. Hate it. In that time, we'll also do, you know, a couple other... Thank goodness. We'll do the couple other, little alliance quests that go in there. There's not much, just kind of running around talking and stuff. Then we will have, I'm thinking 6 episodes. I'm thinking it'll take us 6. Which is about when I did my estimation last time. That's about where we were at with that too. We get another double sword. Yeah, we gotta sell those bad boys. Maybe actually we'll make a run. We'll start just heading in a beeline. We'll get whatever we kill on the way to go sell. I don't know why I'm not selling. Oh snap, someone is not to mess with. But anyway, yeah, so that's if we finish tomorrow. So that give us 3 episodes. So that means a week from tomorrow, we'll be wrapping up Blasted Lands and getting ready to start Sunken Temple. Like I said, we're going to start it. We're going to do it on 2 accounts. We will have, we'll pick up League Contestant. We'll do an episode where we pick up all the quests next Friday, and then we run it. So by the end of next week, we should be already, not this week, by the end of next week. So we're looking at like the 28th. So right there at the end of September, we should be fully done with Blasted Lands and have run Sunken Temple with 1 account. Then the following week, or not the following week, then we start the next week, get right around, right, so midweek, right as we start October, we should wrap up Sunken Temple, and then we are in the final zone of the game, and we're also going to be... in some of our traveling tomorrow, we're gonna have to start making. I mean, we don't have to, but as we travel over the next episodes, we need to make the Sunken Temple list of quests. So now I'm gonna start doing that with you guys together. It wasn't fast enough. I'm not gonna reset it, but I'll look at another guy. Let's drop some tokens. Now that I see another stone right there. And I don't know how long it's going to take us to do that. After that, I won't really be able to anticipate. I assume Western Plaguelands is a kind of a long zone, so I assume it's going to take 7 to 8 episodes to run. We will not be doing a dungeon at the end of Western Plaguelands. Because the only one that really unlocks is Skullomance, but that's too hard level. So that will most likely be done the first run through of it. Like the following Friday after. So like around the 9th or 10th of October. And then we'll have to run a couple episodes of 2 to 3 episodes of Horde Quest. So mid-October, basically. It should be done with Western Plaguelands all the way. This is just why I talk about how this show is, even with the sped-up process, it's just very time-consuming, especially endgame. Then that will open Blasted Lands. I think that's much shorter. My guess is 3 to 4 episodes. Call it 4 for now. Maybe if there might be some Horde on there too. Let's call it 6, but we'll do no prep for... Oh, that was a clone, so I just killed somebody else's clone. Or else... No, it got cloned, that wasn't me. Where are we at with seeds? We have 31 seeds. Still 7 more soil we need. Yeah, and this is something you'll see me doing a lot. This is just part of the process. I gotta work it out in my brain. But yeah, if we basically need more time, I don't really think. I think when we looked it up, it's not a crazy big zone. If it takes us 7, if I'm conservative and I say it takes us 7 to do both factions, then that's gonna take us like around to the 3rd quarter of
I can't carry anymore.
Oh, I'm gonna let that go.
Inventory is full.
We're gonna let it ride right now. Actually, we're gonna just toss that bag because I don't care about the life root. Yeah, so then we would be running Blackrock Depths, which is gonna take us a long time. That's just, it's the biggest dungeon in the game. And following Blackrock Depths up with right away Lower Blackrock Spire. I don't remember. I don't think that one's crazy long. But I'm thinking it's gonna take us like a week per account if I have to run it twice. Maybe I can do a quicker run on one faction. So maybe we can get it done in a week. That's optimistic. I'm thinking it's going to take us 2 weeks to do those 2 dungeons. So yeah, so we're going to be getting into the 2nd to 3rd week of November as we finish that zone. That's good. If we keep up at this pace that we're at. And then I think we looked at some other stuff too. We're not going to really have to do anything else until we hit Dire Maul, which will be coming. And then it'll be Eastern. Yeah, so we're going to be hitting like Thanksgiving time. Maybe even getting close to December. All right, we're going to turn in these couple quests while we're up here. Let's open up for box too. By the time we finish Eastern Plaguelands, it'll be, yeah, we'll be into December, getting very close to the holidays by the time we wrap up Stratholme and Scalamance. We'll be getting right there at the end. Let's go sell some of this. That'll be like end of year. So we'll be kicking off the new year, maybe with the final 2 zones. So maybe it's a little bit better. I'm gonna sell these even though they're 75 each. Why can't I open that? Oh. Okay. A lot of this stuff is gonna ride. I could convert some of the leather if I wanted to. Yeah, we got another Mara grain. That's good. Alright, so let's turn in Larion and Muigin. And that's the only one we can really turn in right now. And then we're going back out into the field to hunt. We will, right near the end of the episode, we'll hearth back.
These pests keep me busy night and day. Haven't you seen them? I wish I could just jump down a pipe to get away from them. Thanks for your help, adventurer, but I'm afraid I have some bad news.
Okay.
I managed to spy on what Muigin was doing, and he's actually growing the darn things over there. I think the only solution here is to... No, not go talk to him. What are you thinking? The solution is to fight back. We'll need the help of my friend Marvon, who has a workshop in Ratchet. I'm sure he'll be able to create some sort of gadget that will help us.
Okay. So, we're going to need to do a couple things. First of all, let's go ahead and put that on the old spreadsheet. Larion and Muigin. And that, or Muigin and Larion. And that allowed us to pick up this. That's just to travel to Ratchet. It's kind of annoying that we have to go there. Decide how we want to do that. But let's go back out into the... We're at 36 slime. Like I said, I'd like to be at about 50. So I would like to be at 14. Yeah, so, I mean, and things... This is me being uber conservative, so it might slide down, slink down. I think Winter Spring will only take us a week or so. Then Dire Maul, because it has multiple parts, but I probably will only have to run it once and then an extra episode. Let's say we can knock Dire Maul out in a week. That'll also open up some lore. So, call it a week and a half. So now we're getting into the second half of January. We'll do Azure Ghost and Kazakh. That's going to be like a one-night thing. Dang it, I just missed it. So... Okay. Not worried about PvP, but we do have, after that point, we will start to have some online stuff to read. That's going to fade. That's going to seg out. That's not going to stop our long plays. So I'm not worried about that. Or it might. We might just be making stuff like that all the time. I'm not gonna make it though. We'll get through that stuff. I'll be making. We'll catch up faster then. What are we at here? We just needed flat out 60. So we just need 3 more soil, and we'll probably get that just from killing, but just to be safe. Go out and get it now. We need 12 more marrow grain, but we'll have all the soil we need, so I can work on that off camera and on camera with you guys, and hopefully be in some good. Then we'll have a PvP. We'll have to at least do 1 session each. That's not really a lot. That's just 1 episode each. Again, taking us into the 3rd part of January. Maybe there's some lore. I do think there's some lore about it, but yeah, it might be off camera. I mean, that might be small, bitty lore. Okay, then Blackwing Lair and Dark Moon Fair.
I'm out of range.
That will have... Dark Moon Fair is going to be part of the next year. Oh yeah, also I forgot. Throw in the fact that we'll be doing... Oh, Lunar Festival doesn't start until mid-February. Dark Moon Fair... That can get slotted in as soon as we've unlocked it. So once we do Blackwing Lair, then Dark Moon Fair can get added in at any point in time. We'll just work on the quest for that at that point. So that it only stays open for a week or so too. So we'll waste a week on Dark Moon Fair in early February. Blackwing Lair is not going to take too much of our time. We will then run Zul'Grub. That'll probably take us... I don't know. It's just going to be getting someone to let us run Zul'Grub. Probably only going to run that one once, so probably will only take us a couple episodes. Then doing Arathi Basin, looking at the fishing in the game, the Stranglethorn fishing challenge or whatever. By the way, we have all the Ungoro soil we need. Ironhide Devil Sword. Alright, so all we're doing now is killing slimes. I'd like to kill 12 more. So this guy plus 11. So once we get to February with all this side stuff, it's kind of shot. And March will come. Actually, probably end of February, we could probably get those Dragons of Nightmare. All the little side lore coming out too. Part of our life. Yeah, then I had already predicted this back in March. Timeline still seems to be tracking about the same, because then we'll do Silithus, which will probably take us a week or so. And then the Gates and Ruins of Ahn'Qiraj, getting people to let us run Ahn'Qiraj with them. Whatever quests are tied into that. That'll take us into March, and then we'll be at Nax. We'll be at that, and then Nax is going to become a vanity project, like I said. So, yeah, we are looking at right around that mid-March, that spring breaky kind of time of year when we start retail. If I can maintain the vigor, the stamina, I can take some WoW aggro and keep it up from now until then. I just had to make it gross. Alright, I'm 40. Can I kill 10 more slimes? At the time of our episode. Alright, now what we need to decide is how do I want to do my traveling? If I go to Orgrimmar, we can turn that episode in. Then I could set myself up a flyby to Ratchet. And Ratchet will take us over to Booty Bay. Booty Bay is a quicker thing to Sunken Temple. Or conversely, we could Hearth to Orgrimmar, and then Zep over from there to Undercity to turn into slimes. Oh, and the slimes are going to make us come back here anyway. Then we could take our trip down from Undercity down to Gromgal. I don't love this. Nah, I don't like it. Because at the very end, we're going to have to come back here. We got 8 more kills. Okay, it's easier to get from Gromgal to there. When we're in Ratchet... Now, another option would be to just fly from here to Ratchet. It's kind of a far flight, though. Or we could Hearth and then immediately Hearth, fly down, then immediately Astral Recall. Then we head over, we get our stuff in Ungoro, then we zep down to... Oh no. Let's see what the time is at. Then what we could do is get on a flight path from Undercity all the way to Swamp of Sorrows, but we do it off camera. So we go start working on that real soon. Where are we at? We're 42. Alright. Maybe that's enough. Maybe we just go ahead and try that right now. Alright, let's do it. Screw it. Oh, here we go. We got another Marvon right now, too. I like this plan. So... got a Morrow Grain, by the way. We still need 11. Alright, so we are going to Hearthstone to Orgrimmar. We're going to turn in that Bone Bladed weapon. Then we're going to fly to Ratchet. Pick up the next step in Marvin's workshop. Then we are going to immediately astral recall back to Orgrimmar. Go get on the Zeppelin to Undercity and turn in those slimes. That's what we want to try to finish in 15 minutes here. Those 3 things. And then that will allow us to travel off camera from Undercity down to Swamp of Sorrows. The next episode we'll be able to do the Haze of Evil, and then Hearth back to Undercity, and to Orgrimmar, then go over to Undercity. No. Go to Orgrimmar, fly down to either Thunder Bluff or whatever, finish off the other...
I give you warm greetings, adventurer, as does the Shattered Hand.
Okay, unbelievable.
Stay away from
The
them.
clients are not so patiently consoled. Have you gotten any of the claws yet?
Ah, these do nice. Thank you, adventurer. And you be here long before they need it. That'd be good. Maybe we have a weapon fashion for you from the claws. What do you say?
Sure. Alright, not too shabby. Where are we on XP anyway, my lovelies? We need 24,000. So close to level 60. We're gonna get there, because we're gonna run Sunken Temple also, so all the quests that go along with that. We'll do a full quest run of Sunken Temple. Why not? I just won't stress it. If we miss it on one, there's maybe a quest or two we could potentially miss it. Yeah, now I was being conservative with my time, and things might change. And like I said, there's the vanity project element. I don't know how certain things will look until we start doing it, namely how much PvP we're gonna have to do, how much some of the grinding is. Am I gonna want to do the whole Bloodsail Buccaneers thing, knowing I'm also going to be doing it at retail pretty much at the same time? I don't know. Alright, we're going to fly to Ratchet now. This is the long...
You haven't lived until you've looked down on the world from the back of a wind
super long,
rider.
but it's going to take a minute. It's going to take a mo. Alright, so let's start working on the rest of the spreadsheet here. So if you look at this one, we have Enchanted Azurite Fell Weaponry. So if you take this guy right here, after that, the next step is called Return to the Blasted Lands. So we're going to go ahead and add this. I've already looked this up. Basically how I make the sheet, except I usually do it as I do it, but I'm not doing that anymore. Okay, so Return to the Blasted Lands originates in Stranglethorn and sends us down there. Then uniting this Shattered Amulet is a tough one. That requires us to actually fight in the area. 3 mobs that are not... What's it called? Uniting the Shattered Amulet. Great. And then you have to fight the boss guy. You are Rocklith Demon. And I really, really want to do this with you guys, but I am very worried about finding a party. You are Rocklith. And I haven't done this one yet. I got to right there, and I stopped, and I switched over to playing more with you guys instead. And, everything I've read about this indicates that it is going to be hard to solo. You do get 3 things. You get a Fire Shadow Resistance necklace. Meh. You get a trinket that increases your defense by 3 and gives you a little health regen and shadow resistance. Okay. Better. It's trinket, so it's not terrible. And a 16 slot bag, so that's nice. If you look at our current bags, I don't even think all of our bags. No, we're still rocking a 10 slot bag on the bottom. And a 12. What? Oh, I have this. Guess I cannot swap them. But those two should. That's kind of, I think, what messes with my mind. That one of those is bigger than the other. Anyway, we could get rid of that Murloc skin bag. That'd be cool. And turn that in. Alrighty, I'm gonna go also repair and sell. We're down 10 minutes. We're doing okay. What we have to do now is go over to the Undercity. We don't even have to really finish that if we want, but we do have to get there.
I have a deal for you.
Why did I not sell that stuff before?
Be good.
Alright, let's go talk to Marvon. Well, it's Marvon's workshop. I believe Marvon Rivet Seeker isn't there anymore. We have gone here for a couple things. She's the lady that gives you the volcanic activity quest. So this is kind of a breadcrumb for that.
Hiya! This workshop isn't mine, no. But
We already talked to her about other stuff too.
Marvin's been gone quite a long time now, adventurer. He went off to Tanaris to study some of the ancient troll ruins. Now, what was it that you said you needed? You're in luck, adventurer. I've been working on some of my own experiments while Marvin's been gone, and one of them is a short-range bug zapper. With just a few adjustments, it should be great for ridding yourself of those blood petal pests. I can let you have one of my zapper prototypes, but you'll still need to collect the fuel. You can get the necessary Atalai haze that the zapper needs in the temple of Atal Hakar. The deep lurkers, murkworms, or oozes are the ones you'll need to get it from.
Okay.
Be good.
So, again, they're sending us... It's the same quest as the other thing. It's just called something different, basically. And at the end, instead, we will get a zapper. Instead of just getting the haze, 1 extra inventory spots. Alright, let's go ahead and Astral Recall now back. Again, it would be kind of quicker to go from here to the Sunken Temple, but we actually want to go to Undercity first. So we at least want to get there. That might be all we do today. We might not actually... Oh no, I forgot. I do want to do the actual quests because I want to be able to hop on that flight path. That'll be the best for us. These stealthies got some spare time to help me with something. Armored Scorpion got dragged all the way in there. Yeah, now when we start retail, there's a bunch of other things. I think I'd be more inclined, like I ended up making a guild on this account, but then whatever. I think I might actually want to make a guild when it comes to retail because there are a lot of cool guild achievements you can get. And I'd like to pursue some of those. I know that most people that play are already part of a guild or they don't really care. But when we get to that journey in March, if anyone wants to pursue some of the greater achievements together from scratch, you can get in on the ground floor and join the channel with guild type achievements. Joe Strummer. Don't really have anything I can buff you with, Joe Strummer. Shaman don't really do that. We buff through totems. And yeah, here we go. This is where we're at right now. Fungus Shroud Armor. Trying to farm a rare boss in Mara. Oh, that's cool. 25 agility, 10 stam. Decent Mara level armor. But yeah, this is going to slow us down. I'm glad we left when we did, but this will slow us down because we're going to have to travel to Undercity and then go grind out those slimes. Here we go. Alright, we're about to get another shot at this. One more Morrow Grain and we're at least one quest in. Do the second one though at light. Got Earthroot instead. guys. I'm gonna look up. Let's look up how much plus health is useful. How much plus healing needed in classic? Molten core says minimum healing. With my priest, I have 577 of healing. Yes, your job is dispelling magic. Mages are busy trying to AoE farm the boss. Outside of agreements with pure HP, you're not getting close to that. Pre-best in slot for priest put you around plus 500 hit points from gear and enchants. Glad I looked at this in time. What did I say? We were at like plus 120. So I guess that made me feel a lot worse. 33, 55, 63. Now there's no enchants on these. 83. That's a big one right there. 129. So we're at 129, and that is still leaving room for. Do we have? Let's put it in order. Yes, we have a helmet. No, we do not have a necklace. No, we do not have shoulders. Yes, we have a cape that's actually better than the cape we have. No, we do not have armor. No, we do not have bracers. That's what's hurting us. Do we have gloves? Yes. Do we have a belt? No. Pants? Am I still running Trip Runner dungarees? That's ridiculous. Ridiculous. No to pants also. Boots? Yes. Rings? No. Trinkets? No. And then I have a weapon and an offhand. So I could see I have a lot of room for improvement. I have 6 pieces of gear, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, potentially 15 pieces of gear. So I'm 40% of the way to plus healing gear, and I'm at 129. So if you considered 129 divided by 4 is about 132, and then uh, 40%. Oh yeah, so we're gonna times it by. We need to divide it by point. Times it by 4. Well, divide by 4 times by 10. So that means we were on track to have about 300 healing if we were at this current level, and they're saying 500. Yeah, so I could be at 300 with plus enchant on the weapon. Yeah. Stack plus healing power to downrank max heals. That's what they're basically saying. It's just, I mean, that's what it is. You basically want to be able to spam. You want to be able to spam your low-level heals. Or spam your chain heals, I guess, too. That would help. Alright. Now it's time to go in there and fingers crossed that 42 samples is enough to get 5. It should be, unless we have terrible luck. Would it be the first time we had terrible luck on this? No! It would not. Duke 'em. Duke 'em. Mr. Pandaria call out. Alright, anyhow, I don't know that this character is going to be... I mean, she could be. She She is the fact that I'm trying to stack all this healing gear organically does mean she could potentially do some stuff. Early molten cores. I mean, molten core also people often say like, don't worry about it. I'm not worried about getting into molten core or Onyxia. I really don't think the bar is very. I don't think the bar is very high. I think you can just get into almost like a pug group. Which is fine. Alright, so now we need to go to the lab. Do our testing for impurities. Over and over again. Somehow I don't think I actually put that in there. Spreadsheet. This will allow us, and unlike the Alliance, this one actually does have a follow-up quest where we go back to Ungoro Crater with all of our slime knowledge and do one more thing. So I want to set that up for the next episode. And again, yeah, we're doing pretty good. You know, we're making some progress on Morrow Grain. 2 episodes in, we're about halfway done. So there's just no way we're going to be able to do it without that extra. Alright, so we need this quest, Testing for Impurities, Ungoro Crater. Let's see if I actually put that on the spreadsheet. I sure did. Okay, so we're going to do this now. That's going to get picked up and dropped off. Oh, dang it. Never mind. That Marvin's Workshop, we forgot to pick that one up. This is now Zapper Fuel. That's the one getting picked up. Then we're doing, which will be followed by Blood Petal Zapper. Yeah, that one called Melding of Influence. So now we're going to pick up and drop this off.
Hello. My colleagues and I are gathering the deadliest substances we know and testing their effects on our enemies. Once I have everything I need, I shall brew such plagues as this world has never seen.
Okay. We did get one, great. Okay, second one was a wash. Third one was a wash. Fourth one was a wash. So we're 1 for 4 so far. There you go, we got 2. Okay, we already got 3. Yeah, we overkilled it. I've just heard horror stories. That one we didn't.
I can't carry anymore.
I'm gonna toss some of this stuff. We're still not there yet, though, so we're not out of the woods. We only have. There we go.
Inventory is full.
You're at. We are at 4.
I can't carry
Of
anymore.
course not. Where are we at with our actual stuff? Oh, that's another thing. We can combine that. That'll buy us a. Okay.
Inventory is full.
Okay. I don't know if those boots stack.
I can't carry anymore.
Okay.
Inventory is full.
We did get all of the ones that we need, by the way. So we just have 27 more to. I mean, it's free stuff potentially, but my inventory is so clogged up right now.
I can't carry anymore.
But this also is going to allow us to squeeze off one more.
Inventory is full.
mean, we will get some more inventory spots too. Two more, and then we'll... Oh, you can't have more than one. And once you turn in the quest, you can't do them anymore. Alright, Strangle Kelp sells for a silver, so I'm gonna run money. Let's go ahead and open up the seed batch. Get some more of those too, once we get 7 of that done. Oh. Okay. Arrowheads. Yeah, I don't even know why we're doing it anymore, except for the small amount of gold we're gonna get. Really not a lot. Where are we at? We are at 14. Okay. This one does annoy me. Click on it too. I'm a masochist. Strangle Kelp again. You bozos. But now let's... Some of this stuff. 9 to go. Fire bloom, huh?
I can't carry anymore.
Okay. What is it? 5 more. The boots stack, they do at least, okay. Come on. Yep, stack those boots, you old slime boy. 2 to go. We are there.
My colleagues and I are gathering the deadliest substances we know and testing their...
Okay, now let's turn this guy in.
Lady Sylvanas has ordered the investigation of some of the
Yeah.
natural
That part we
phenomena.
already know about.
Trust no one.
Yes, Gleekensoul. How goes your search?
Truly amazing adventurer. This Ungoro crater is holding many more secrets than I expected. I wonder what else we will discover as we test further. Simply amazing. Look at the purity of these samples. I wonder what it could mean. They seem to be elemental in nature, but something more. They remind me of the old gods. We've found traces of them throughout Azeroth, and now I wonder if these creatures aren't related to them somehow.
Interesting.
We shall have to test further. Here is some encased
concept.
ooze created from the Fellwood samples you recovered. Take the case to Ungoro Crater and find a pure ooze. The primal variety will do nicely. When you get close enough, release the ooze in the case, and let us see what the two think of one another. After the experiment concludes, bring me a sample of whatever is left over. I will await you here in the apothecarium.
Yeah, so basically we have created this like kind of pure ooze, and we're gonna combine it with like a primordial ooze, and see what happens when you let these two things play. Kind of cool. And I like that they're saying like, hey, I think these things are tight. That much. They're like, I think these things are tied to the old gods. That's kind of a cool concept also. Alright, so that's it for us for today. We are going to take our services down to the Sunken Temple next time. And should be able to wrap that episode on the next episode of Lore of Warcraft. Thank you so much for watching, listening, and tuning in. Like, subscribe, all that jazz. I'll see you guys on the next episode of Lore of Warcraft, because this one's in the pipe. 5x5.